What's up, all you Chop and Champions? Welcome back to another episode of Chop and Chat. We're your host, I'm Dre, aka Yitzilo. You know, he does the thing.
Yeetzilla. To do the thing. Yeetzilla, yes. And once again, I am your big time Becky, the fearless. Yes, I'm repping
Oh, there it
fearless. I
is.
knew. Yes, this overpriced shirt, but anything for Nikki Bella.
So, coming
So,
off, we're at this point, we're recording the weekend before Crown Jewel, right after TNA NXT Showdown. And for me, I think the state of the union, the state of WWE, Raw and SmackDown have been really lackluster in terms of new. Like it's I think it's okay to the point
yeah,
where, when you watch an old show and you watch reruns, it's just like
yeah.
that, where it's the same tropes, it's the same storylines. Um, Scary Rusev.
I'm not even scared. Why is anybody scared of Bruce?
Yeah. Um, I will say right now, Raw is interesting for me because they're going back into old Bloodline stuff, which is nice. It's like slightly nostalgic to 3 years ago for me, where when they first split the Bloodline, I'm like, oh, okay, this reminds me of back then, and it's we're just at the beginning of it. I want to see where it goes. Um, but at this point, yeah, I don't think anything crazy for me. What do you
Yeah.
think?
It's actually interesting that you say that because I'm like, it's exactly the sentiment of the fans. It's like they're just doing it all over again. So I think they're
Mhm.
realizing that they're losing their footing. So they're like, oh, let's just go back to doing the bloodline stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I just
So
feel bad because I feel bad for the superstars because, like, I mean, what happened to Jay Uso? He was so over. I still want to see him, and nothing. Like, there's just I can't even think of anything, nothing to say. So that's why I'm like, Dre, what are we gonna talk about?
no, yeah, I feel that. You know what? Here's what we can talk about. The end of the year is coming up. So, who is going to finish off Cena?
Actually, you know what? Let's do our fantasy book. Let's just fantasy book. I think at this point,
That's it.
um, there's really nothing to take from the current storylines. And again, it's like I it, I just hate that we're at this point where a lot of content creators were gaslit by Triple H at the start of the year, where he was like, "You guys all just complain." Why would you say that? And then under deliver your entire year, and
Yeah.
now people who have negative opinions have to make a disclaimer. I'm like, what? Like, what a good use of your influence, Hunter. Like, yes, do it again. Like, insult more of your fans. Like, I'm just I'm just really sad because I was rooting for him and I was like, I thought it was going to be better than Vince. And I think, and this takes a lot for people to conclude, but I think we're worse. And it takes a lot to be worse than Vince
Hey.
McMahon. So I'm just really like, and my friend called it. I have a good friend from high school. I texted him. I remember when it all happened. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited that Triple H is going to be the head. And then he replies with like, do you remember Raw 2002? He's like, I'm not excited. Like,
Yikes.
oh my God, he called it. It was just like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? That's true. But a little history with me and Triple H, as if we have history. I love how I'm like a little history with me and Triple H.
As if
No,
we
I
have
was
it's crazy.
as if yeah, I was never a big fan of him before. I like, and this is gonna be like a hot take, and I don't care because this is how I've felt ever since I was a kid. I only think Triple H became that kind of a main eventer. Not saying that he's not a main eventer. He
Hmm.
only became that kind of a main eventer was because he married Stephanie, which would have happened to any other superstar who have married Stephanie. Who has,
I don't think any other superstar. I could name a few that wouldn't, but like if Tess married Stephanie, I don't think that would have been really good.
No, no. And rest in peace, Test. But yes, I get you there. But I'm like, because when you talk about main eventers, we're always talking about Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, which I don't think was ever Triple H's level. But again, not to discredit his main event status. I think before Stephanie, he was already getting there.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean? But I think
He
so I was.
skyrocketed a lot of stuff.
Yes. And I was like, and again, I'm not taking anything away from him. I think, and he was really like buff and he looked really good. Uh-huh. And, young me was like, girl, girl, I need to go to
Same
the
hair.
fashion booth. Yeah, like, my Catholic upbringing is gonna like destroy me. But anyway, so that was the thing for me where I was like, yeah, but again, when I found out he was in charge, I liked it. But now I'm not. I don't like his comments. I don't like the gaslighting. I don't even care about his politics at this point where I'm like, it doesn't matter to me. It'll always be like this for you guys, and that's fine. Um, as long as you're not openly using your show, because I mean, if they're there
Yeah,
supporting
yeah, yeah.
whatever, that's their thing. But if you're not using your show, I'm good. So anyway, yeah, so I'm just again sorry, just really disappointed because I thought he would have made such a big difference, but instead what I have this year is like fumbled Rhea Io feud, fumbled Tiffany women's title reign,
Hold on.
fumbled Jey Uso. Yes.
Yo, what was up with that super botch? That botch was like embarrassing.
Yes. The Jade Cargill.
Jade Cargill, Nia Jax bot. The Tiff and Nia
Yeah,
bot.
yeah. Tiff, Nia Jade, that whole yeah. I know. I was like, I mean, seriously. And it's funny because now you look at it, actually, DX is running the show. You have Triple H
Mm-hmm.
running everything. You have Shawn Michaels running NXT. You have Road Dogg running SmackDown. And I'm like, maybe DX isn't the best to book. But,
Yeah.
again,
Yo, Shawn Michaels doing.
yeah.
I think he's doing cool with NXT. I like NXT right now, but maybe it's in
Although,
comparison to the other shows.
compared to Raw and SmackDown, NXT is top tier, but I also think NXT was better a few years ago. And I don't mean black and gold, I mean just last year, where
Yeah.
I was really like tuned in to watching NXT every week. I loved Julia and Stephanie. They were enough for me to just watch every week and get to know the entire like roster. It was the same thing for me in Black and Gold where um the four horsewomen and and Asuka and Adam Cole were enough to get me to watch it every week.
Mm-hmm.
But because something was also happening every week. And I
Yeah.
think that's the issue we have now. It's like nothing's happening. But again, I don't want to air out my feelings. I want to make it exciting again. So wait, before we talk about exciting, did you catch AEW?
No, I didn't. I didn't get to catch AEW.
Oh, it was so good. That's the thing with me. Like, now I look forward to watching AEW every time. Like, I don't care if WWE will have a show against them. I am catching AEW live, and I'm
Okay, give me
doing
the highlights.
WWE as
Give
a
me the
re.
highlights. I know a few of the characters on AEW.
I just like for me now, when I watch it, every segment is connected to a storyline. I literally feel like I'm back in the Attitude Era, where it's like, even if it's let's say a random match, they will find a way to tell the story. They will find a way where if it's just like a random match, let's say John Moxley versus whomever, Darby Allin, who is in feuding with John Moxley, will just come out from the sky, and like
Okay,
in the
cool.
middle of everything. It's really pretty cool. Or like what happened with how Willow just got into the whole feud with FTR, um, and now they brought in Megan Bain. So it's like you have these two powerhouses with Willow and Megan Bain, and then you have the men integrated FTR. You have Mike Bailey. You have like I can't even begin to explain how good AEW has been for me. Even like especially the women like um Mercedes Monet being all like 9 belts Mercedes has actually done so much better for the independent scene than any WWID would have done.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're watching, because a lot of the WWE fans are like, nobody cares about these belts. Yeah, we do, because you don't watch it. So, you don't see how it integrates to the whole big picture, but it does help. So yeah, I mean, every time Adam Page has been such a great champion. I am looking forward to his match with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is such a great talent in the way he can put people over. I mean, their promo this week rather, I think I just saw it yesterday, was, the other day was like, wow, like,
Mm.
because it's gone to that point where they're personal and they're telling stories, which is what we love about
Yeah.
wrestling, is when they tell very personal stories and they bring it to the fold, which I think WWE doesn't have now, because we just have, it's sort of like a framework where, like, okay, somebody comes in, we do a promo for like an hour of like
Yeah.
whatever, shit talking each other, and then we'll have
It's
these random
template.
matches, right? And then backstage tech, it's the same thing over and over again. The one thing though I'm excited about is Asuka. Like,
Yeah.
yes, give
I
her
hope they don't turn her into
something.
Shinsuke, man. Like,
Oh,
it's
that's
really
true.
weird.
That's true.
But
That's
I
true.
like the new Asuka. The Mist is back. Love the Mist. I like that new makeup. The scorpion thing on her face is dope.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
For me, like, Asuka is the one that brings me to watch Raw, because I want to see what she does next.
Mhm.
I think her promo skills have also evolved, and she is really just this charismatic character. The
She's a
moment
fun
she's on,
villain.
she's
Yeah.
on, right? And she's such a pro. So I'm like, Asuka, whatever Asuka's doing, whoever she's with, I am excited for that.
Yeah.
But back to your first question, who I think John Cena should face in his last match. I
Okay,
agree
so
with
we
you.
got
From
how many
Yeah,
pay-per-views left? How many PLEs do we got left? Pay-per-views. How many
we
PLEs do we
have
got left? Three?
three. Yeah, I think three.
Crown
And
Jewel.
then Saturday Night Main Event,
And then main event is the last one. That's
the worst show.
uh it's I'd rather watch Evolve.
I mean, I've never seen Evolve, but yes, I would rather probably at this point, honestly, I would rather watch TNA in
So
2015 or
Crown
something.
Jewel in October. Next month is Survivor Series. War Games, right?
Yes,
And then
yes.
December's
I mean,
main event.
usually, like, yeah, end of November. I don't know. It's supposed to be in San Diego, and
Yeah.
if honestly, Dre and I could easily just go there if their tickets were fairly priced.
Yeah.
But nosebleed seats are at $300. You have got to be kidding me. The last time I went to a WWE show, it was 2 years ago, and I had fairly good seats for $100.
Dang.
You
I mean,
know, so
at
I'm
this
really
point,
like,
you're better off watching it in that giant TV theater. What was that called? The Cosmo Bowl or whatever.
oh yeah, but I think that's also like you'll end up spending the same. They were just, I mean, not $300, but you'll still like,
For
it's
like
like you just,
150.
yeah, you could probably have purchased ESPN that day too.
Yeah.
With,
There's gonna be a
and
lot
then
of free trials expiring in 7 days.
I didn't even bother. I'm just like, yeah, no. And then, anyway, so quickly, speaking of ESPN, you see how they were like fumbling the names of the superstars for like a while now? Like, I can't, I have to find the clips, but when I post this, I know they fumbled some names, giving WrestlePalooza a well deserved C rating from
Dang.
ESPN. And it's really like, yo, Hunter, like, and it's just like, come on. Anyway, so yeah, so we have three PLEs left. But anyway, we're booking the Saturday night main event. Maybe top three opponents you want to see John
Yeah.
Cena
So
face.
he's already doing AJ Styles, right? Which
Yes.
is somebody
See,
I have
we
to
called
look
it.
forward to.
We
Yeah.
called AJ Styles. We were like, that would be, because I think our context was how bad the Randy Cena match was, and we
Yeah.
were like, if you put in someone like AJ Styles, he is going to bring out the best in Cena, and they're going to put on a very good show. So I'm happy to see John Cena and AJ Styles, and something that we put on our dream list. So yes, John Cena, AJ Styles definitely happening. Now that is WWE versus TNA.
There
Like,
you go.
not Kelani Jordan. No offense.
Oh,
I love you, Kalani. I love you.
that whole team was former NXT people.
Right? But
Kalani,
wait, yeah,
we'll circle
I'll
back
get
to
to
that.
that. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay,
But with John Cena,
so
okay, who's your number one?
I
My
have three
number
in my
one.
mind. I have three in my mind.
By the way, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Happy Filipino American History Month.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so three people. I have two. I have. Dang. Oh, I don't know what order to put these in. I have four. I'm gonna do four.
Oh, no order. Yeah, no order. We don't have to rank it.
I have five. I'm gonna do five. Okay. Cena versus Cody. Face versus face. Proper send off, which would be cool. Cena versus Dom, which would be really fun. The more serious ones, I think. Cena Gunther, like we said before in one of our previous episodes, Cena Gunther would be
Yes.
really great. And then you put Gunther as just like not the legend killer, but the like retirer, right?
Yeah.
We do Cena. Honestly, I can go one more Cena angle, but I doubt that. I want to say Cena versus Edge,
If anything, yeah.
and then the last one. You can't leave the Lesnar thing open, man. It's so open still.
Yeah.
Cena
I
Lesnar.
I'm like I didn't even watch it to be honest. I was just
It
like
was just a
I am not.
squash. Like Lesnar beat him in like
Yeah.
5 minutes. It was like super squashy.
I'm not even gonna give Lesnar a view at all. I know it's just one view, but for me that's my statement. Like I am
Yeah.
not gonna give anything you do a view online at all, not even a news article. So yeah, I love it. I agree with you with Gunther. I really think seeing John Cena and Gunther might be a great send off because he is like classic wrestling heel. I love what you said that he could not just be the legend killer but the retirer, and he
Yeah.
can sort of bring back like if I did this to Bill, I could do this to you, and like
Yeah.
and then it becomes his thing for quite some time. He retires sort of like a few
Yeah.
wrestlers.
He can retire
So
two wrestlers a year.
yeah, so I'm like,
Like
I like that. I think that has potential and that gives
Gunther
Gunther
versus
like,
Bubba Ray Dudley.
oh my god. I don't, I'm sorry, I don't even know why Bubba Ray is a legend. But anyway, um, yeah, you can say I'm not the biggest fan, but yeah, I like Gunther. Um, I honestly still want to see a very proper Cena versus Randy. I
Mhm.
think their stories are so intertwined and so connected. I mean, actually, that's also with Batista, but I think with John Cena and Randy, I really remember a time when I was a kid and just seeing both of them was like, oh my God, these are the two, future of these two are the future of WWE. And
Yeah.
now, 20 years later, because yeah, 2005 was when they boomed. So 20 years later, it would be nice if they actually had not a random match, but like a proper built goodbye feud, where
Yeah.
this is like at least maybe for war games, if they could insert that and just be like and start building it today, because that's what they don't do is build. So if they start building it today, then that might be good. Um, and who else? Yeah, I remember LTS Wrestling Podcast, our friends, where they were like Braun Breaker might be a good idea. I was like, yeah, I agree. Someone like Braun Breaker, but since we're here, so actually those are just mine, and then my fun one would be John Cena and Rhea Ripley.
John
Come
Cena
on,
versus Rhea Ripley is fun. That's
let's
cool.
pass down the torch to the
Yeah.
top tier superstar, which is John Cena, and come on, Rhea Ripley's the
John
top
Cena
star.
versus Io Sky.
But I think that would bring me back to like an actual. like China match. Remember when China and Jeff Jarrett went at it and China became the Intercontinental Champion? Like that would bring me back to that where you're just like, whoa, I can't believe this really happened. But anyway, that's just for fun. I don't know if I don't think it's gonna happen, but I think that's fun. But speaking of like Braun Breaker and stuff, what do you think? Do you think the Vision is helping Braun and Bronson, or because to me personally, they just seem like lackeys to me.
I think it's helping Bronson. I don't think it's helping Braun.
Okay.
I think what would really help Braun Breaker if it gets to a point where he takes over Seth,
Yeah.
and then now
Yeah.
there's this like thing. Bronson Reed, him working with Roman Reigns is really helping him because now he has a character, now he has personality. Before it was just like I'm a monster, big guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which was like okay at the time because I like to sympathize with the big dudes.
Yeah.
Um,
I like I'm a Bronson fan for sure.
yeah, but now there's like he can cut promos without being, ooh, you know what I mean? Like just growling at people or shouting at people.
Yeah.
Like the promo he cut before Palooza was really good, where he's like, "Oh, I'm the Samoan, you should be scared of." And he's like, "Oh, okay, like this is real promo work now."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, instead of
Which is yeah. Yeah.
I tsunami'd Seth 12 million times and now he's my best friend.
Yeah. And I'm like, he better win at Crown Jewel in his hometown of Australia, home country rather. I don't know if it's his hometown, but I hope he wins because that was the thing when I was watching. I was like, of course he's not gonna win. Of course no one's gonna win over Roman because in my head I was like, Hunter's never going to like push anybody over Roman. But
Yeah, he's
yeah,
unarmed.
with what's right, with what's looking at like now, I'm like, I hope they make him win, and I hope they continue this Roman feud because I do see Bronson as a strong champion. Like like he can be a very strong heel champion. And if there's anything outside all my criticism for Triple H, if there's anything he can deliver on, it's a heel champion. He does
Yeah.
so good at it, booking
Mm-hmm.
a heel champion. So I'm like, I would love that, and at least that's really new blood. And then for me, so Roman puts Bronson over. At some point, Seth would have to put Bronson over. And then Braun and Bronson could be in this mega, like, feud
Yeah.
that would be very interesting to see unfold. Maybe not as early as WrestleMania, but I'm thinking maybe down the road to SummerSlam next year. It would be nice to see the two Brons, who I think, together with Jacob Fatu, I think are like the really like monster heels that I
The
think will
up
be
and
very
coming
convincing.
guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like would be very convincing to
I don't think
be in
Fatu's
that
gonna
picture.
turn heel in a while. I think Fatu's
Yeah,
really in this anti-hero face idea, but
yeah,
I do like the idea of a triple threat at SummerSlam, Braun, and Fatu
yeah.
for like the
For the
world
title,
championship.
you right? For like whichever title, I think that would be the ultimate, like for
Yeah.
me, like a really good matchup. So I hope down the road that happens. So I love this. Again, finally, we're getting ideas. So yeah, I'd love that. So maybe Seth can take a break. Like it's okay. We want to miss you. You can go be with your
Yeah.
kids. Like take a break. But yeah, for hopefully for me that's the direction. And then Paul, where Paul Heyman sides is also a great like point to focus on. Like who will he choose? Will he be with
Yeah.
Bronson or will he be with Braun? So,
And
and
there's still
and
that bloodline element, and Fatu could be like, "I thought you were the wise man."
yes,
So it's that
yes.
whole thing too.
Because I'm like, where the F is Jacob Fatu? Like, where
He's
is
fighting
he?
Drew McIntyre right now.
Okay, good, good. It's like, finally, there's something that's interesting to me, and it doesn't need the title, but if they put Cody in there, I hope Jacob becomes a champion soon. And I think
And,
while he's very over and while he's just doing great character work at this point.
but it's crazy if you think about his trajectory. He's had 2 belts already.
The US belt, and what was the
He
other
was a
one?
tag champ.
Was he? Oh my
Yeah, he was a
god.
tag champ for a while.
Oh my god. My god, that tag
But
division.
it's crazy because he seems so new, still.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
man, he had a really good career already so far. So him being up against Drew, and I like the character of like I'm just a guy who's tired of everyone's bullshit, like that, which is kind of true to life.
Everybody today. Which is everybody today.
He's the boy. He's the people's champ of 2025.
Yes, yes. So it's really like, yeah, I mean, but see, and I think this is why the fandom is frustrated because you have such a packed roster and there are so many of them we want to see. And I know it's probably difficult to like find places for them, but that's why you're getting paid millions of dollars to do is to make sure they're in good stories. And
Right.
it's not
Why
happening,
the
but
fuck are
yes.
we wasting Damian Priest? He's so good, right? I like his
Yes.
character. Why is he fighting Aleister Black still? That should have been done last week.
I know. And it's really like
Make him
anyway, but
take down the entire fucking Judgment Day.
yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Or the Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
Like like give them something to do too. Like you completely like my God, Road Dogg sucks at his job. Sorry, no offense. You're a good wrestler, but bad booker. Like I'm just like wow. Anyway, yeah. What else? The women's division for me has been really sad too.
Give me
Like,
more AJ Lee. Why is AJ Lee gone already?
right? And where's AJ? Where's Nikki? Like what happened to the two of them? Like they
Yeah.
came in hot and then stop. I think that's also my biggest issue with the booking today. It's like, why aren't you striking when the iron is hot? I don't get this. We're in an era where this works. You were doing this in the 90s. Like in an era where actually it wasn't even, like
When you didn't have
it's not
talent.
right. And in the 90s, when they did this, information wasn't readily available. That's why I was like, if people are saying that WWE is doing a better job than the Attitude Era, I disagree. They're making more money, sure, because they're charging us ridiculous prices.
Yeah.
And again, because of this digital platform, they do have access to sell us things and whatever. So I do agree that they're making more money because they found the niche and nothing is like WWE, but I don't think they're doing better. If you didn't live as a child in the Attitude Era or even just as a fan, you can't say that this is better because there was a time where we would wake up in the morning and all we could think of was wrestling, and you would see it everywhere, billboards, news. You'd go to school and you'd be so excited to talk about what happened during Monday Night Raw. And we don't get another thing until next week. So we have like this week to sink in that story to talk about it and then see it move immediately the next week. And it was fast paced. They weren't killing time. And this is what I hate with this era. It feels like, okay, you did well. We'll book you again in a month. We'll put Sheamus and Rusev.
You don't want R-Truth teaching you how to use ESPN?
I didn't even the most I've done is like watch 2 minute highlights. I mean, if there's nothing, but I even forwarded. I'm like, I see Aleister Black, and I'm like, I don't give a. Like I forward it. I'm just like, what happened to my tag champs? What happened to Charlotte and Alexa? Like, what are they doing? You're two most over women.
These Judgment Day fools haven't defended their titles in so long.
I think twice since they won.
Yeah.
Twice.
Dom's only doing Mexican stuff.
Yes, and that's the thing. Like, you're
tag champion. Like, don't give him 2 belts if he's not going to defend 2 belts.
Yeah, and it just, You know what? So, okay, here's my ideal thing. I'm talking about the women's tag champs. You know who I want to see as women's tag champs? And I know it's going to be controversial, but I think it's what the wrestling
Wait, let me
fans
guess. Can
need.
I guess? Can I guess?
Yes, yes.
Sol Ruka and her best friend.
No, 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 no. I do think they deserve the tag team titles, but not. But my idea for that tag title is you will never guess, but I think it's a great story. AJ Lee and Nikki Bella.
Dude, yes, yes, yes.
I
I
think
would love that.
I think because their fans, no, well, not really. The women's wrestling, like I told you, we're good, but the men's, wrestling fans have always pitted them against each other, and rightfully so. I think that was their feud, but again, it was 10 years ago. So imagine them being like, do you think these women deserve these spots that we made? I don't think so. And then
Right.
you could actually, I think it would be great to see Charlotte and Alexa versus Nikki and AJ
That'd
in
be
an
insane.
actual series, in an actual like series. And then, they can win and once they win, I'd love to see them win at WrestleMania even, like in this big women's 8 women tag team at whatever. I'd love to see them win. And then afterwards see them feud. You know what I mean? Like see them sort of like feud again where they reignite this feud. And then let's say it sets them up for a match at SummerSlam, like again, SummerSlam 2026, Nikki Bella versus AJ Lee again. But then nobody wins because Brie and Paige return at SummerSlam 2026, and then we're back to the Bellas versus AJ and Paige
That's
for
true.
to end the year. And if they want to go, they can go. They're done. You know what I mean? But it's like I think
You end it
that
with a
is a
War
tag team.
Games match.
Yes, yes, yes. With them leading their teams, like Total
Yeah.
Divas versus the Anti Divas. So
And that's
I,
when
I,
Naomi
yeah.
comes back.
Yes, yes, and then
Oh,
chooses AJ Lee's team.
yep. There you go.
She's like, I am not a total diva. F that. I am an anti diva.
Yeah.
And then she chooses. Yeah, that would be great. So that's my thing. My campaign is AJ Lee and Nikki Bella need to be a tag team. If Bree's not coming back, if Paige is not coming back, the two need to be a team. And I think actually even if Paige and Bree come back, I think it would be great. And then imagine if Paige and Bree actually did come back and AJ and Nikki were tag champs. Like they're like this stable all of a sudden, and then they get to fight each other. But that
I
would
have a
be
thing.
for me the best.
I have a long shot prediction, and I hope it comes true. And if it doesn't, you'll never hear about this clip ever again. But if you do, we'll post it, and we'll say we were right all along. By next year's
Yes.
SummerSlam, at one point there will be a new Intercontinental Women's Champion, and that will be Maxine Dupree.
Yes. Yes.
That match was so
I
good. She did so well.
I would love, and that's actually what I was gonna say because I'm trying to book the women. I was like, I would love to see Becky put Maxine Dupree over, and I'd love to see like this whole like just put a rocket on Maxine and like let her shine, let her bring that divaness back, let her bring that Stacy Keebler esque
Yeah.
appeal and just bring it back to that, the diva era, which, but of course, elevated and more evolved and, more action packed. I'd love for that to happen. I'd love, so
If they want to rinse
honestly,
and repeat a storyline, let's
yeah.
repeat the Dom storyline where two women fight, but it's Otis and Mandy Rose comes back.
And actually, right, because Mandy has been making waves in the news again. So Mandy and Maxine fighting for Otis would be great, and and I think, and then Maxine could be positioned as this strong intercontinental champion, like beating Kyrie Sane. I mean, why isn't Kyrie chasing the IC belt? I have no idea. Even if, and especially like, and let's say if Maxine is the champion, I'd love to see her, in a feud with Kyrie or Asuka, and
Yeah.
really like, like she beat Becky, then she beats Asuka, then whoever is up and coming, she beats Natalia, like
Mhm.
establish her as like this legend killer almost.
Yeah.
Like I beat Becky, I beat Asuka, I beat Natalia, who's next? And that sort of builds. I beat Kyrie, whoever builds is the next like,
Turn
women's
her
IC
into
champ.
the female Cena.
Yes. And I think
That'd be
it's
great.
Maxine has worked so hard and she's great on the mic. I'm not
Yeah.
like it's not even a joke. Like she's great on the mic. She's a great character worker. Yes, I'm so glad you brought that up. 'Cause I completely like didn't even think about that. But yes, I am with you. So our campaigns, AJ and Nikki women's tag,
Yeah.
Maxine women's intercontinental champion. Um, I'd love to see. Okay, this is my dream, like for the WWE Women's title. I love Tiffany, but I really think SmackDown has disserviced her. Um, I'd love to see Jade win the title. Jade finally win the title from Tiffany.
Uh,
Um, Maybe like at War Games, for example. Let's say I would love it if the War Games match were the women's Raw roster, and then the SmackDown would have the women's title match with like Tiffany versus Jade. Whatever, no holds barred, whatever match. Really rough. But I want Bianca to come in and sort of like help Jade win, right? And
yeah.
then be like the person responsible for making her win. And I want her to like rub it in Jade's face
Mhm.
every time she can, but have that friction still happen.
Yeah.
And maybe let's say Bianca wins the Rumble because I don't know who wins the Rumble. It's so close. They haven't pushed anyone enough
Maxine
to win
Dupree.
it. Maxine could win, yes. But let's say I'd love to see Bianca, and then finally choose Jade. It's again, it's like this rinse and repeat thing with Bailey and Io, but
Yeah.
like different. I mean, because we're not demanding original storylines. We don't
Just give
care
them
if
more
you repeat.
flavor.
Yes, you can repeat the same formula, but of course, it's for me the magic is how the superstars own it and turn it into their story. So I think like whatever happened to Bailey and Io, which was very exciting. Remember when Io cashed in at SummerSlam and everybody was just like, ah! I was like, there hasn't been a moment like that, and until when well, of course Naomi gave us that. Thank you at Evolution, but you know what I mean. Like, I'd love to see that happen. I'd love to finally see Bianca and Jade at WrestleMania. And I want it to start now. I want Jade to have a reign, and I want, who knows, maybe let's say Jade retains at WrestleMania, which would be fabulous. At least there's a running story. And then Jade could even have a feud with Nia Jax. Just to show this dream power feud that we've always wanted to see, like a solo feud with Nia Jax. And Tiffany, I think Tiffany and Julia. I think Tiffany should go for the
Yeah.
US title. Julia and Tiffany get into this hardcore feud. You can bring back Chelsea, you can bring back Zelina, you can make this really robust
Yeah.
United States roster for the women, United States title roster for the women, and make them do fatal four ways and whatever. But
Yeah.
put all your star power into that roster as well, and then you have Jade, Naya, Bianca, at the top. You can even bring somebody back. Like I would, totally bring Bailey back to SmackDown or something. Or, oh my God, Rhea Ripley in SmackDown. That would be
Yeah.
a dream. Like Jade, Bianca, Rhea, Naya, that would be a powerhouse. Like,
Okay.
those are the dream matches we want to see.
I have an idea. What's the War Games booking this year?
Oh, I am not excited. I have no clue. I have a feeling it's gonna be just like a quickly put together thing, like, oh, okay, who are over from the women? Rhea, Io,
I think. Well, okay.
AJ.
He's gonna be Becky,
Oh, I forgot Becky.
Asuka, Becky, Asuka, Kyrie. Who's the fourth heel from the Raw?
Maxine.
Oh
No, she's a
no,
face.
no. I want to say Liv Morgan or someone like that. Liv Morgan comes back.
Oh yes, Liv returns.
Yeah, and then on the good guy side, good team, it's gonna be Io, Rhea, Stephanie, and who's another? Oh, Maxine. That's the women's War Games match.
That's true. And see, and then you leave all these other women who are over because you're doing 4 or 5 PLE matches, whatever. I don't think that's so cool, Hunter, but whatever. Like, make it exclusive. Make it no, it's
I
not. You're making it
swear
the
to
dumbest
God,
thing.
if you only have 5 matches and you give me another fucking Rusev match,
We are
swear
boycotting.
keep them on the regular show.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know the women's war game match. Is it really just 4? Because there are times there could be
It
5,
might be 5.
but I'm not excited at this point because I really think they're just gonna put something together and put all the heels versus all the faces. That's how War Game's gonna look like. And which is sad because I really liked your idea of booking the Bloodline versus Bloodline, which would be, I think, historic if they did it. But I don't think they're gonna do it because I don't think, again, I have no faith in their booking. But yeah, so what else do I want to see in War? Yeah, that was it basically. War Games, we'll see. Okay, the NXT TNA thing.
Okay.
I agree with you. It was disappointing in a sense
time
that
out real
it was
quick before you get into
yeah.
that. Didn't we call the old school Survivor Series matches?
Yes. Yes, and actually we please do an old school Survivor Series. So I'm glad they did. Honestly, I also love that they did it with the NXT TNA. I think that was brilliant. I have to give it to them. See, so with criticism comes compliments. We do, see that. I like that. It was a brilliant idea. But execution, that's where it was NXT versus ex WWE at the end of the day. It wasn't really exciting. That's why I actually thought about it. If they did it last year, if that's how they introduced NXT TNA was last year, it would have been more epic because this would have been my match card. If they had booked this a year earlier, if NXT TNA Invasion happened in 2024, my women's TNA team would be led by Jordan Grace, who was the TNA Knockouts champion. Yeah. Jordan Grace, Masha, because she doesn't have any issues yet, especially last year we didn't know she had those issues. Masha would be there. Jordan Grace, Masha, Rosemary, who I think is TNA, we didn't see Rosemary at all. And then who else maybe Havoc or Lei Ling, whichever, but that fourth one, or could be a newbie, whatever, could be an ex-TNA. WWE then would be led by Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, which was the North American Women's Champion. I would still put Soul, of course. How could you miss Soul? And who was my other one? I think Lash Legend was my other one. But here is my twist, actually, Dre. This is why I was so excited about this. This is my twist. So they're not doing 4-on-4, they're doing 5-on-5. So the women's team, then they would be there needs to be more stake. Because there's already stake with the Jordan thing, and they already have their storyline, and they're really hardcore TNA. What if Ava just goes, you know what? Adam and what's the other one's name? Matt. Who are the general managers? Adam Pearce and Magnus. No. I call him Magnus from TNA. I don't forget his name.
What's his name?
I forget his name. He's Magnus to me. Adam Pearce and Magnus. And then they go, we need a WWE superstar. We need a mainstay superstar to really add something to this. And then Magnus goes, okay, you can take Bianca Belair. And who is the
Oh.
WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, a former NXT Women's Champion? And then Santino is like, well, if you are bringing in another one, I am bringing someone in, and you will be surprised at who it would be. And then maybe a week before, Santino announces that the women's TNA team will be completed by the other half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Trinity. And then it
Nice.
sets,
Yeah.
then there's something there like, what is this? Then, it would have set up that I did this to Jade, everything, all that, Bianca and Trinity get it. And
That's so
I would,
good.
right? And then you don't put anybody over because Trinity pins Bianca. So nobody loses anything. Trinity takes the win for the team because
Yeah.
she's the heel. Bianca needs to chase. So
Yeah.
Trinity pins and then uses that moment to admit that she destroyed Jade Cargill. That would have been
So
perfect
good.
for the women. Here's my idea for the men. So for the men, you would have. So again, we have to higher the stakes, right? So the team would be led by. Was Oba Femi or Trick the NXT
This is
champion?
Oba.
Oba, and then you have Trick,
Right.
of course. Then you have Ethan Page, and I'll get to why I put Ethan Page. So you have Oba, Trick, Ethan,
Javon
and then
Evans.
no, Javon is I'm putting him in a different place in the card. I'll let you know what. Wait, who was my other one for Team NXT? I think Carmelo was still there, so you can still put Carmelo,
No,
right?
Carmelo was WWE already.
Oh, he was already SmackDown.
Yeah.
Okay, so not Carmelo. Who can we put?
I would say the Dawn of NXT.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah.
Because he was North American champion, so you can put
Yeah.
Tony. Doesn't matter. And then they do the same thing where Adam Pearce goes, and you know what? To spice things up, we're putting Finn Balor
Yeah.
into that team because Finn is NXT. So you have the 5 men. So team captain, Oba Femi, but you have Finn Balor part of the team. Santino doesn't like it. Santino's like, this is so unfair. But his team is Joe Hendry, Moose. Who was my other one? Oh my god, I had another.
Santana? What's his name? Mike Santana?
Mike Santana, Frankie Kazarian. So you have like these TNAers, right? And then Frankie Kazarian. And then Santino at that same week announces, and my final closer for Team TNA is AJ Styles. And it's like, and he comes out with his TNA team. I am. Oh my god, it'd be so cool. Then AJ pins Finn. So again, you put I'm gonna put Team TNA over in this card. So Team TNA wins again because AJ pins Finn. The rest of the card. Oh, sorry, no, not Mike Santana. Sorry, it wasn't Mike Santana It was Josh Alexander
Okay.
because Ethan Page and Josh Alexander have history. So the moment those two get tagged in, they were former TNA Tag Team Champions together as the North. So and the rumor is, and that's why I think it brings a lot of stake, is that Ethan didn't want to lose to Josh when he left for AEW, and Josh was pissed, and TNA was pissed at Ethan for not wanting to go put Josh over. So that would have been an amazing team because you have, my God, just like. Right? It would have been better a year ago. And then my other parts of the card, Javon Evans would be against Leon Taylor for the X Division Championship. I think TNA X Division Championship. And then, sorry, it wasn't. Yeah, and then you'd have the TNA Knockouts tag team titles defended also at that pay-per-view, so that there was something you'd have TNA go over. And then I would put an NXT tag team title match, and it wouldn't be Fraxium. I would have put Motor City Machine Guns in NXT first.
Yeah.
They would have been the NXT tag team champions. They would go against the TNA tag team champions, the Hardys.
Yeah.
That would have been WWE versus TNA at its finest. Motor City Machine Guns versus the Hardys. and put the Hardys over, and
Oh
be
yeah,
like,
sure.
they won and they're still doing it. I think that would have been a much better setup. And then, the TNA, the Dudleys versus the Hardys now have Motor City Machine Guns included in the match, and that would have been more legendary, more TNA, than it
Mhm.
is ex WWE, basically NXT
Right.
Light. So that would have been my card. I would have been like, yeah, that would have been a much better card at the end of the day, because there was actual WWE versus TNA going, but there was still storyline that benefited WWE and TNA at the same time.
I would have had it like this as a macro story. Because right now WWE has this problem. They have so much talent, they have not enough spots, right?
Yeah,
This is how I would run it. NXT versus TNA showdown. TNA wins the entire card, right?
yeah,
Just go with
same.
me. TNA wins the
Yeah,
entire card, every single match.
same for me. Yeah.
And then they go after the main show rosters. So now
Yes.
the WWE B team, the Damian Priest, Aleister Black, Rusev,
Yeah.
but like some few newer, like bigger stuff, Judgment Day, the New Day, they can fight the TNA invasion. You know what I mean? So it's like now everyone has a spot because the top guys are always going to fight the top guys. Like for sure, I would never book Roman versus anyone from TNA.
Yeah.
He's
Of
like
course. Yeah.
top guy. He's doing his own thing. That's the main show, but
Yeah.
the show still has to deal with this incoming invasion from TNA, right?
Right? And with TNA winning that card, winning the invasion, they have all this like leverage and this street cred to be invading SmackDown, to be invading Raw, and like just and I think that would have helped increase the viewership of TNA, not this. This one has been so one-sided. I feel bad for TNA because it also happened with their partnership with AEW, where they're just always an afterthought and they just keep taking that number 3 spot, or not even, maybe number 4 or 5, because New Japan probably is number 3 for me. But it's like they keep taking these losses, and I know this current thing where Trick is the champion is not going to last long and they're going to have their moment, but they also don't have a big enough roster. So I think what we just did, booking it a year earlier, and then, now they have all sorts of stories. Now Trick can be a champion because now there was reason for WWE to invade TNA, to be annoyed, to be pissed, to be like, you beat us in our own game, and then have sort of like a revenge on NXT War Games, where you have a mix of like Damien, again, another mix of like 5 NXT and main roster superstars versus TNA, and then have that card where WWE sweeps every car,
Yep.
every segment, and they just win. And then you have your ample revenge, and then you can break into these single storylines. But the reason I was so upset at that NXT TNA showdown was because it's like WWE never learned. Remember, this was the same issue in 2001 when they did the invasion angle, and there were no stars from WCW. You just had like Booker T, and Triple
Mhm.
H didn't even, allow Booker T to go over him, which was like so selfish. But like,
Yeah.
and then you had Stone Cold lead the invasion. Like, girl, Stone Cold is WWE. What do you mean he's WCW?
Right.
Where I was like, they didn't get their big stars until down the road. But I honestly thought that in 2001, if the invasion opened with the NWO being
Mhm.
like, well, this is our show now,
Yeah, that's the move.
like, and then it would provoke the reuniting of DX. We're like, no, this is our show. And then you have this amazing invasion. But that was my biggest criticism from 2001, and I was a kid then, and I was just like, this invasion angle sucks. Like, the biggest WCW stars that came into WWE at that time were Booker T and Tori and Stacy, and they don't even wrestle. Like,
And they had so much potential. That angle is so good, but they
mhm.
wasted it.
They did. And which is what upsets me now, because a year ago, you had that good TNA roster, you had your good NXT roster, and they were just fumbling with like little surprises here and there when they could have just no invasion, like hardcore, and then yeah, now so this year it was like I get it. No offense to Kalani, we didn't know that um she's always going to be Dana Brooke to me. We didn't know that Dana Brooke by Elegance was, gonna forfeit the title. So I get that. But still, at the end of the day, when you look at it, Dana Brooke by Elegance is ex WWE. So it's like, it's not really like, if we're gonna talk TNA, it should have been full homegrown TNA talent, which would have been like Jordan Grace, Masha, Rosemary, which they didn't have at all. Although I did love that the inspiration was there, but they even used their iconic theme song. I'm like,
Yeah.
is NXT that cheap? They don't even want to pay for their current TNA theme. They were
Right.
just like, let's use what we have here in the
We
library,
still have
where
it.
we
We
don't
still
have
have
to,
it. Don't worry.
yeah, where we don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, like you guys. But yeah, so when I was watching it, I felt sad because I was just really excited by my card, where I was like, dude, my card kicks ass.
Right.
like
Right.
we had tag titles defended, X Division title. My God, that
Right.
would have been much better. But thank God, AEW put on a fabulous show.
Damn. Okay. Fuck. I'm so busy. I'm like trying to catch it one of these times.
Dre, I am serious. You have to catch it. It's
Okay.
funny to me because like you haven't had time, but I'm like everything Dre has been mentioning in all the recordings of like what he misses, I am seeing it like in AEW. Just in a smaller venue. But oh my God, it's like it's been amazing. They have like all these guys back, Adam Page, MJF, Orange Cassidy. I'm waiting for them to bring Swerve back into something more, front facing. And then you have the Hurt Syndicate with MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin. I'm like, it's so good. I can't even begin to talk about it. And like this Chris Statlander, Tony Storm feud. Now that's a series, not Sheamus versus Rusev. Tony and Chris have all this history from AEW, and they never got into a feud until now. So I'm like, this is amazing to me, and then they haven't actually, because Chris won in a fatal four way, not even in a singles match. So it would be amazing to. So now they have a match at Wrestle Dream, which is I think October, the week after 18 maybe. That is Wrestle Dream. So yeah, Dre, please seriously, even if you just watch the YouTube highlights, I think they're like 8 minutes each. Those help, and then you can catch whatever. But this recent show of AEW was great. I don't even know where to start. I'm loving Darby Allin. I'm loving John Moxley and that feud. Yeah, Willow and Megan Bayne. I'm looking forward to
Mm.
Chris, Tony. Oh my God, it's just it's just been Attitude Era vibes. I am not kidding.
Right.
Even the type of matches that they're throwing are like Attitude Era vibes.
Word. Okay. So for this week's 3 count, let's do superstars who would thrive much better on NXT.
Oh.
Male or female? 3.
Okay. You go first.
Okay. The entire Wyatt Six.
It's so sad how they fumbled. Okay, me next. What I just said, Motor City Machine Guns.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had been introduced in NXT first,
Yeah.
and then like they made their mark there because now not a lot of people know them. So when they come out on SmackDown, it's not a big like the crowd isn't as into them. because they
Yeah.
really, I mean, they how many people were watching TNA back in the day? Not a lot. I mean, before, on Spike TV, actually they were pulling in 1 million plus every week. But afterwards, so yeah, Motor City I think would have done better.
Mm, I'm gonna say Rusev.
I think Rusev, and this is no shade, Rusev. I
No,
think
no, you're
you're.
great.
I have no. I mean, I don't know you as a person, but I think your best performance for me was in Total Divas.
No, I'm
Lana
gonna
is
change
the
mine.
best. Lana's
I'm
number
gonna
one.
I'm gonna change mine. Not Rusev. Aleister Black.
Yes, yeah.
Aleister Black.
Since you said Aleister Black, I was actually gonna say this. For me, another person would have done better, and I see Zelina Vega.
Dude, Zelina Vega in NXT tagging with Dakota Kai. Tag team
Yes,
champions.
yes. That would have been great.
Yeah.
So for me, like, yeah, like if Zelina, even like women's North American champion, she would have,
Hmm?
I like, yeah, Zelina would have been so much better if she was honed as because when she was in NXT, she was a manager of
Yeah.
Andrade, so it was like Andrade. So I was like, yeah, but I'd
Andrade. He
rather,
quit and got nowhere to go.
right, So yeah, now it would have been better. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a shame. Um NXT. What I want in
Who's your third?
NXT. You know what? I hate to say it, but I think they would kill it because there are a lot of fun tag. They're all tag teams. There's a lot of fun tag teams they can go up against. The War Raiders.
Yeah.
The War Raiders versus Hank and Tank. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah,
That's a great match.
that would be so cool. And they do have a lot of teams to go against. Even like the Shield 2.0 would be great. um,
Dark
my
Steel.
third, yeah, Dark, whatever his name is, whatever. Like Shield 2.0 to me. This is funny. My other one who I think would have fared much better in NXT. And please make them the champion.
You're gonna say Michin?
Yeah. I'm like, dude, just bring her to NXT,
Right.
give her a good, decent women's title run,
Yeah.
and then let her put over the young ones, But it's like, instead of
Why?
here where she's constantly losing her chase for the US title, which means absolutely nothing at this point.
Yeah.
Like, give the woman a break. Bring her to NXT. And,
Right?
because I'm not completely sold on JCJ. I don't know her. I haven't really followed her.
He doesn't vibe.
Yeah, it's like, I'm watching and I'm just like, this doesn't feel right yet. So I'm
It's
giving
like
it
when
some
they
time.
made Cat the. Do you remember Cat or Kitty? That's when they made her the champion for a while.
The cat? Okay, unpopular opinion. I love the cat. I love the cat. I love when she was the women's champion and China was the intercontinental champion. And they would come in as like twins. I love though. Okay, I do understand as a wrestling fan, like how
Yeah.
people are like the cat disrespected that title. Whatever, it wasn't her choice to be the champion. They put it on her, and she showed her everything at that Armageddon pay per view
Yeah.
and won the title. But it's see, I know this shit, but it's like, yeah, but like at that time when I was a kid, it was okay to me. But although I was like, I think Ivory or like Tori or Luna would have been better as a women's champion. But I guess because the cat was with Jerry Lawler, that's how it went. But yeah, like JCJ, no offense, I don't hate her or whatever. I'm just not receiving it as well as I thought I would. It wasn't
You
like
know
when
who
Mandy
needs?
Rose won. Yeah.
You know who needs an NXT title shot and like a run? Give it to
Who?
Thea Hale. She's been there forever.
Oh, that's true.
And
I
she's
even like,
good.
who is that? Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, Chase U.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, she's been there quite some time. Although I haven't seen. I don't know how many matches she's had too. I'd even take Jada Parker. I'd even take Ms.
Oh, dude,
Parker.
yeah. She's over right now.
Right? Or
Yeah.
honestly, for me though, like who I want to see as NXT Women's Champion, if it wasn't JC, it was Kalani. I was like, why isn't
Yeah.
Kalani the NXT Women's Champion? Like,
Yeah.
I love her. She's so great and she's so fun.
Yeah.
Or even Lola Vice. So I'm really just like, like with JC. No offense, I'm sure she's great, but I'm not yet completely on the receiving end of this title reign. I'm still like, it was different, again, different when Mandy Rose won and there was issues for a bit, but damn, Mandy made that title hers. Nobody's going to take that away from Mandy Rose. She
Yeah.
was the NXT Women's Champion. Nobody comes close but Paige to me because I think Paige made the title.
Mm.
But yeah, and that's sorry, I love how you're like, are you going to say Misha? Yeah. Our girl deserves something more than that.
You know what? Bring up a woman's hardcore championship and just give it to Mishin. Cause
Right?
like she'll rock that shit.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of, who I think should be pushed to the U.S. title scene? B-Fab.
Yeah.
If we're gonna get Maxine Dupree as Women's Intercontinental Champion, I'd love to see B-Fab
Dude, when she fought
as
Charlotte, that was a great match.
right. I'd love to see B-Fab as Women's United States Champion. Bring a little more personality to that title. I think B-Fab has it, and then Julia can move on and beat Bianca Belair and all of those and be like that, that champion she always was meant to be. I really am so upset at how they're treating Julia, and she is not like
I
this.
don't
She
think they
is
should have brought him up at the same time. Because ever
right,
since they got to WWE, it was like two parallels. I don't think they should have done
right, and it's just like, and they're just not booking it correctly. Like Chelsea was such an over champion and they never put her in a PLE. That was also weird to me. And then she lost to Zelina, which I was okay with because I love Zelina, but then they did nothing with her. And then now it's Julia and it's the same. Like every week a backstage segment. Like, Road Dog, come on, get them on the road. Like, do something. I don't know. Like, so yeah, I think that would be great. I'd love to see that. I can't believe we forgot that. I'd love to see BFAB, be the Women's United States. So on SmackDown, you'll have that scene, and then Julia can chase the women's title belt from Jade, Bianca, Naya.
that. Hmm.
Again, if they would bring Rhea to SmackDown, I would totally be okay with it.
Well, all right, Choppin' Champions. It's been another episode of Choppin' Chat. We hope to see you next week. Go find us online: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube.
Yes.
Basically anywhere you can find anything.
Yes.
Yeah, until next time, we're your hosts. I'm Dre, aka Yeezy Log.
Yes. And I am your big time Becky. Fearless. Ideal repping for the Total Divas. Thank you
All right,
so
we'll
much, guys.
see
Thank you for
you.
listening to us rant and
We'll see you
fantasy
next
book.
time. Peace.
Yes.